like how you can start learning French by yourself, what resources to start with, and how to progress according to each level from A1, A2, B1, and B2. Once you reach on to B2, you are enough prepared that you can start exam specific preparation. Okay, so we'll talk about exam specific preparation as well. First, when you are at A1 level, very important to start with the basics, very important to start scholastically, and it's very important to start touching on grammar and hitting the grammar first. Why? Because that is considered as the structure of the language. You guys know how buildings are built. There is a foundation. If the foundation is strong, then you can put as many floors on it as you want. Okay, if the foundation is weak, you won't be able to make the building too tall. So our grammar is the foundation. And on top of that, what you add is considered as vocabulary. But both of them are required. So in order to start your grammar learning at the basics, there are these two books I recommend. First one is for the grammar. Start with this Complete French Grammar all in one. This is mainly the book for your grammar learning, again, which is like the building block of the language. And then the second book over here on the right side is Edito A1. Now, this is mainly for your vocabulary learning. Now, it's not only about grammar when you're learning French. Both of these two things are complementary. You improve your grammar, you also improve your vocabulary, and then you combine it together to build your overall language. Okay. And also in Edito A1, this book focuses mainly on your reading skills, on your listening skills, on your speaking and writing skills. So that is also the reason why this book is very important apart from grammar. Okay. So that you can build your overall language, overall vocabulary in the language. So these two will be your first resources to start with. But now you guys might have a question. Okay, I got this book, but where to start? Like how to start? Like there are all these chapters. How should I know what to do first, what to do next, what to do next? So for that, let me tell you one thing, where to start in the beginning. At A1 level, it's very important to start with the pronunciations and sound as soon as possible because those are the building blocks of the language. Even important than grammar, I would say, is starting with pronunciations and sound so that you can build up that patterns of the pronunciations or something called pronunciation patterns in French in your brain. Once that slowly happens, then you can start to be better slowly and steadily and you'll be able to progress. But yeah, pronunciations and sounds and basic phonetics is the first thing. And then talking about the topics, in what order to progress your topics. So again, you can click a screenshot of it. How to start topics to start to build your basics. First thing will be genders. Now, if any one of you have done some French, you might know there are genders in French. So this will be the first thing to start, and then keep it basics. You don't need to dive too much in detail on different things right now. What are definite and indefinite articles, a and the in French? How do we address the subjects, I, you, he, she, we, you, they, all these things? How do we say them in French? And then start learning basic verb conjugations. What are er ending verbs? How to conjugate them? What is être, avoir, aller, venir? Okay, so some of you, if you have done some French already, you might know about these things. But if you have not, don't worry, just take a screenshot. And once you have that book, you'll be able to open the particular chapters and learn those particular chapters from that book. What are objects in French? Okay, which are also called nouns, and then learn basic introductory phrases and greetings, and then basic preposition. Okay, if you do these topics, this will be good enough to get your overall understanding regarding what French is. Then once these topics are covered, then you go on to these topics. Now, these previous topics that will help setting up your base of the language. But once you move further, once you want to improve your overall grammar, then you start with these topics. Again, you can take a screenshot. Please do it in this particular order: pronominal verbs, adjectives, immediate future, recent past, prepositions, asking questions, interrogative adverbs, past tenses, future tenses, and then on right side, conditionals, pronouns, adverbs, asking questions, past tense. I don't know why I've written this twice over here, but yeah, this stuff. Now, this is mainly for the grammar. Okay, how you will be able to improve your grammar. The other thing I would say is, obviously, because if you're reading from the book, sometimes you're not able to understand things. In that case, what you should do is you can go on to my channel, YouTube channel. And what I have done for you guys is I have prepared a separate playlist. Okay, so if you open my channel, Frenchify, you have to go into the playlist section and you will be able to see this playlist on how to start learning French. Once you see that, just start watching videos right from zero. All the topics that I've talked about right now, you will be able to find all the topics in the form of lectures. And those lectures are in Hindi so that you can understand properly. What I do is I connect the phonetics of French with Devanagari script, with Hindi, so that you are able to listen to it better and understand it better. Okay, so that is something that is very important. Just start watching that playlist. That will be good enough to build your basics. Okay, now you'll be improving the grammar. Okay, so this is what we are mainly talking about, grammar. With that, you will be complementing the vocabulary. Now, as I already mentioned, at A1 level, we have this book Edito A1, which you will be purchasing from Amazon or PDF. We also have this book. Once you build up the base of the language, then you move on to purchasing Edito A2. Now, the bad part about these books is that they have CDs inside. In terms of doing the audio practices, they have CDs inside, and no one uses CD players in these times. So what I'll be able to do is I'll be sending you the link so that you are able to download all the audio files of this book. So if you're purchasing book, all you have to do is connect the particular exercises with the audio files, and you will be able to practice your listening. That's how you'll be able to do the listening from this book. So yeah, at A1, A2 level, use these books for your vocabulary improvement. And as I already mentioned about the grammar, you'll be able to learn grammar from my channel. Or there are also other channels. Like if you want to dive more into detail regarding vocabulary learning, because on my channel, I mainly upload the grammar. You will be able to go on to other channels as well. For example, French with Alexa, very popular channel and a very good channel. Okay, to learn overall vocabulary, to learn basic concepts in French, and just practice real conversations. This is going to be your second channel, which you can refer to learn grammar and vocabulary. Once you build up these basics, okay, now once you have been doing your A1 A2 level grammar and A1 A2 level vocabulary, you'll be at a particular stage where you'll be able to understand, where you'll be able to listen to the basic French. At that point, it's very important to start improving our listening practice. So once you are around completing all these grammar topics that I talked about, which will just take about 2 to 3 months, okay, first binge study and complete all the grammar topics so that you are able to build up the base of the language, and then you move into more listening practices. So for listening practices as well, there is a particular channel. Now, all these resources I'm sharing with you guys, I used to use them myself, apart from my channel, because obviously that wasn't available at that time. But apart from that, these resources that I'm sharing with you, I self-studied most of my language and I use these resources. Okay. So that is why I'm able to share it with confidence that you will be able to do it as well. All you have to do is, watch a particular video of all the topics that we are talking about. So yeah, once you move forward, once you have built up the A2 level grammar and A2 level vocabulary from Edito book, then you start watching this particular channel. It's called Inner French, and you'll be able to go into its playlist, and if you click on the playlist, you'll go down and over here, you'll be able to see Inner French podcast. So you'll be able to see that there is this playlist of this guy. It's called Inner French podcast. A great channel, a great playlist to start understanding the listening in French. What this guy has done is that this guy speaks French very slowly, which makes it very easy for you to understand the accent and understand the phonetics of the language while making you feel comfortable at the same time. Okay. So I really recommend, once you build A1, A2 level basic skills in the language, start watching, and once you are doing listening practices from Edito A1, A2, after you transition, you start watching this channel and complete all the 30 videos. Okay. Each video is very long. It's about 28 to 30 minutes, but worth it to gain the vocabulary, to gain the overall gist of French. Great resource to use. Once you improve your listening a little bit more, then there is this channel, Easy French. Now, this will start after you have watched, some podcasts from this channel, because the spoken French in on this Easy French channel is a bit tricky. Okay, it's a bit on higher level. Why? Because what they do is the team lives in France, and what they do is they like interview random people on streets, and they talk about their experiences. It is a bit tricky because that will be authentic French. That is why I recommend first build up your basic listening from this channel, Inner French, and then you move on to listening and building the actual, authentic French accent from easy French. Once you start feeling comfortable in this, at the same time, you will be purchasing these two books. Okay, now I don't recommend to, purchase these books right now, but wait some time. Again, save the screenshot somewhere so that you are able to purchase it later. The first one, now these books mainly are for improvement of reading and overall vocabulary at B1, B2 level. Okay. The first book is The Little Prince. If I, say it in French, that is Le Petit Prince. Okay. Now, this is an option. You don't have to purchase Little Prince, but you purchase any French storybook so that you are able to start reading the stories and slowly build up the vocabulary and your reading practice and overall structurization of how the French is written from the storybook. And good part about storybook is that it's easy to understand. Okay, you will be using translator. Okay, there are different translators, Reverso or DeepL. You will be using that, but as long as you're doing that as well and noting down your vocabulary, you will be able to slowly understand and gain a lot of vocabulary from it. Once once you are pretty good in the reading, then you can also purchase this book in the middle. It's Easy French Reader. Easy French Reader. Okay, 60 reading topics on different variety of vocabulary. So again, a great resource to use so that you are able to improve that B1, B2 level reading. Same thing with the third book, Read and Think French. Now, this book will mainly work on your B2, C1, C2 level of French because when you're going to give the exam, it's not only that you prepare up until B2 level so that you can just attempt the exam and expect to achieve that level. You have to prepare higher so that you are able to exceed and even do better in the exam. Okay, so for that, Read and Think French, if you start it and if you complete this book, you will learn a lot of vocabulary and a lot of structurization in French. With this, once this part is done, once you are close to that B1, B2 level, I also recommend these particular websites. These are for reading as well as listening for B2 plus and that advanced level. These websites are mainly news outlet channels. Okay, so like this is not anything regarding French learning. They are authentic news channels in France. One great thing about watching stuff or consuming content from news channel is that it makes you more comfortable with the technical language, which is what we at the end of the day need to get that high level. Okay, so TV5 Monde.fr, which is basically from France. So the website is from France. Le Figaro.fr, Le Monde.fr. Okay, these three resources, I used it during my whole reading practice. I really learned a lot from these websites. So just read all the articles, and there are also a lot of listening practices which you can practice from these articles as well. But this comes at higher level. Obviously, first you have to do the basics and build up your level using the things which I talked about, right? And then for a bit more higher level listening practice, you can use this channel. It's called Hugo Decrypt. You can use this channel as well. Again, just recommending something that I used to, watch a lot to improve my French. Jamie Epicure. You can also use this. Now, one thing very important to understand is because you guys are giving TEF Canada exam, there will be Quebecois accent as well. Now, if you people don't know, it's not only that you are learning French, you are learning Parisian French as well, but you're also learning Quebecois French because the accent of Quebecois French is different than the actual Parisian French. So that's why to get used to the Quebec accent as well, it's very important for you to listen to the videos which are in Quebecois French. Okay, so for that we have this channel. It's called Radio Canada Info, which mainly, the conversations are in Quebecois accent. There is another channel as well, which I didn't mention. It's RAD. Okay, RAD. So you will be able to open both of these channels and improve your level in listening. Now, once you are slowly practicing and you reach close to that B2 level, at that point, it's definitely important to get professional help. Why? Because you want to improve your speaking, you want to improve your writing as well. Definitely at that point you will be able to reach out to me as well. Or overall I would like to say it's very important at that point for you to get professional help to improve your writing and listening, because writing and speaking, because otherwise there is there is no analysis and you are not able to see where you are doing mistakes. And then once you prepare that, for exam specific preparation of TEF Canada, you just go onto this website, prepmyfuture.com. This website has all the mock tests, all the practice tests that you will require to see how the exam is. Okay, what are the things included in exam? A lot of different practices to do. And I purchased this, like I was around B1 level. I just purchased this the subscription from this website. It doesn't cost much. It's like 39 euros one-time payment, and it gives you access for 1 year for the full mock test. But I'll really recommend it because the way they have structured their own mock tests, it's really like same as what happens in TEF Canada. So that this is something that will help you a lot at the end. Okay, so this is how you will be able to prepare from complete basics from A1 up until B2 plus exam specific preparation. So this was all self-study on how you can start learning things by yourself. Okay. Obviously, it depends on your personal preference as well. Now, I am someone who like these YouTube channels. Okay. But you might not be the same. So you will be able to find different other channels as well. Like YouTube is not only restricted to these channels, but that is something that will happen in future. Okay. Like what I'm doing right now is sharing what I used to do to improve my overall listening and reading and overall competencies.